24 hours a day, for the rest of our lives, the powers that be are hard at work, dumbing us to death. So, to defend ourselves and fight against assimilating this dullness into our thought processes, we must learn to read, to stimulate our own imaginations, to cultivate our own consciousness, our own belief systems. We all need these skills to defend, to preserve.
Epistemology is a branch of philosophy that investigates the origin, nature, method, and limits of human knowledge. In the 1970s, William Perry first conducted a pioneering study on the epistemological beliefs of college students by means of questionnaires and interview. A large number of studies have been carried out on beliefs about knowledge acquisition, which we correctively refer to as the study of personal epistemology. The term epistemology was first used by the 19th century Scottish philosopher Fourier, and ancient Greek episteme refers to knowledge, plus a logi refers to theory, and that's it. Epistemes, epi means over, steme comes from the verb estame, which means stand. So episteme, overstand, is to stand firmly on the top, which means very sure and systematic knowledge. Epistemology, as the name suggests, this part of philosophical research is concerned with knowledge and deal with related questions such as what is knowledge? How do humans acquire knowledge? When can we say that we have acquired knowledge? We must know how we are. Can you be considered to know some knowledge, etc.? How people understand the world and how to obtain certain knowledge? This is also the exploration of people's cognitive mode and the ideological level. The relationship between knowledge and reality, the cognitive study of subject and object, the preconditions of the universal cognitive process, the reliability knowledge, standard truths, formal and cognitive levels, and so on. Knowledge is. Different epistemologists would routinely have offered in reply some more or less detailed and precise version of the following generic three-part analysis of what it is for a person to have the knowledge. They are belief, truth, and justification. And the internalism-externalism is a branch of justification, which depicts lies near the center of the contemporary discussion about epistemology. There are two forms of internalism: foundationalism and coherentism. The former is the foundational relationship, is the justification belief rather than knowledge, and the latter is justified because of the way in which these beliefs cohere with the rest of our beliefs, none of which are foundational. When it comes to the next question, can we have knowledge? If the answer is no, then it refers to skepticism. It is the philosophical current that overemphasizes doubt and the reality of human knowledge. Then the three genres of thoughts come, which indicates relativism, rationalism, and empiricism, and they are also the source of knowledge.
During the 5th century, human practices and institutions came under critical examination for the first time. Numerous things that has previously been thought to be part of nature were seen not to be. Thus, a general antithesis was drawn between nature and human convention or custom, and the question of where the line was to be drawn between them arose. The sophist asks how much of what we think we know about nature is really an objective part of it and how much is contributed by the human mind. Indeed, do you have any knowledge of nature as it really is? Protagoras, for example, seems to have held, if Plato's report is to be believed, that everything is as it appears to a man, that appearances are the only reality. This is the meaning or part of it of his famous dictum, "Man is the measure of all things." Gorgias was if anything more radical, claiming that there were no such thing as reality, that if there were, we could not know of it, and then even if we could know of it, we could not communicate our knowledge of it. While Parmenides, who is considered a pioneer of rationalist group, and Heraclitus is an empiricist group, but it's still not an epistemological debate at the time because the deep reasoning associated with it is considered not yet full formed. However, they played a significant role in philosophical discourse. They were often considered to represent two opposing tendencies. This understanding of knowledge was preserved and fully guaranteed in the Greek mindset for centuries to come, until finally, in the 5th century, the establishment of this view was attacked by criticism by the Sophists. Because of the attitude and stance of the Sophists, the Greeks gradually turned to side with Socrates and his disciples, a tyrant struggle at a very high price, even having to sacrifice Socrates' own life by drinking poison. Epistemological discourse on the next act is more clearly formulated by Plato, Socrates' most devoted student. It was Plato who first asked the fundamental question of epistemology: what can we know? This simple question marked a new chapter in the philosophical discourse, the emergence of various ideas to solve the complexities surrounding the question of where can knowledge actually be obtained, and how much knowledge can actually be obtained. Do the sense provide knowledge? Can reason provide knowledge? What is the relationship between knowledge and true belief? This following question is discussed by Plato and the other philosophers in the philosophical discourses.
With the development of history and time, epistemology as a significant branch of philosophy, it also spanned different schools of thought. The epistemological thought of Jarenes can be broadly divided into two major branches: empiricism and rationalism. Empiricism is a theory that holds that acquiring knowledge necessitates period experience, while rationalism is a philosophical theory based on the recognition that human reasons can be a source of knowledge. There are other genres of thoughts also related to the epistemological concept. The first thought is revelation. Revelation means that God reveals himself to mankind. There are two types of revelation: general revelation and special revelation. General revelation states that everybody joins revelation from the natural world, while special revelation states that revelation directly to an individual or sometimes to a group. The second school of thought is local genius. It refers to what human knows, how human behavior, and what strategies they develop to sustain their existence is acquired through the environment. Next thought will be intuition, the capacity for knowledge that cannot be gained by reasons or observation. In general, intuition is a complex cognitive process that moves from the unconscious to the conscious, with both a priori rules and rules of thumb. And wisdom. There are three different points of view on the definition of wisdom in philosophy, from humility, accuracy, and knowledge. Humility refers to your wise if you believe you do not have knowledge. Accuracy refers to your wise if only everything you believe is the knowledge that you actually know. And knowledge refers to if we have enough justified true belief in the academic field, then we are wise. And the final theory is skepticism. Skepticism is the attitude of doubting knowledge claims made in various fields in Western philosophy. Epistemology begins as a form of general doubt about knowledge by the wise, because the possibility of knowledge is necessarily taken for granted until such doubt arises. Once doubts arises, they must be answered. How these questions are answered depend on the nature of the doubt and the sensitivity of any given philosopher to them.
The fourth question here is truth the primary cognitive goal? It's widely believed that knowledge is more than true belief, but what must be added to true belief in order to gain knowledge? According to traditional epistemology, two other components are required: understanding as a well-founded reason, and belief as true not by chance. Having the right belief is not the path to truth. This is because, unlike true belief, a proof contains no truth. It can be proved even if it's false. But most forms of defense are false. They do not guarantee truth. For example, by induction of evidence from our senses. So generally speaking, have a verified belief does not mean that the verified belief is correct. Cognitive value monism holds that the defense of truth is the main cognitive value. It seems that we want reasons to believe because we want true beliefs, not because we want reasons to believe. This will enable us to see the goal of truth as the ultimate and primary cognitive goal, independent of the value of non-accidental true beliefs. Just beliefs have no intrinsic value.
The multiplicity of cognitive values justifies the idea that truth is not the primary cognitive value. Truth is not the first, but only one of goals. It's just that the leading cognitive has gone too far. Epistemology is not just about truth. It's the study of successful knowledge. Thus, pluralists reject truth interpretation as a primary cognitive goal, covering topics such as belief in non-accidental truth and reliability theory. A central concept is the reliability of belief formation processes or methods. The world we can perceive is actually the phenomenal world. Everything in the phenomenal world is based on the unity of opposites of dualism, which can also be understood the underlying logic of human cognition of the world. Human consciousness is the operating mechanism, like a computer, which always forms a visual world between 0 and 1. So consciousness is also based on this mode of operation, decoding the phenomenal world by collecting sensory information. In conclusion, epistemology is the recognition of our inability to access the real dimension behind the phenomena, and the preservation of this real dimension in the unknown, through reason and morality. To grasp our limited phenomenal dimension of existence, to gain precious certainty through mutual trust in the midst of turmoil and unrest.